Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is PokeTCG Gamer back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be going over my Week 3 battle in the NPL Minors Season 3 versus AsterJ, aka the Montreal Habsols is his team. I'll make sure to link his channel in the description below. Definitely go check him out. Very solid battler. I just want to say before I start this video off, my other mic that I had broke, so I'm actually using a pair of headphones, so if you see a quality decline in the audio, that is why. But I just want to give a few shoutouts first before I go into our teams. Definitely, once again, every week, shout out to James, aka TheFlyingBird, for helping me edit my videos. Very huge shout out to him. Shout out to Gypsy King, who I talked about my team with him, and we kind of bounced back ideas. So definitely thank you to Gypsy, and thank you to Riz and Verd for doing mocks with me for this battle. Definitely helped me out a bit. I saw some common trends with the mocks that actually showed up in the battle as well, so it was pretty helpful. But now that I got all that out of the way, let's just go into each of our teams. So Aster's full team is Kieran Black, Selgor, Necrozma, Bishop, Flygon, Rotom Heat, Vaporeon, Mega Diancie, Lucario, Tornadus Eye, and Delmise. Now, I kind of thought, like, looking at all 11 of his Pokemon, I looked at it and I saw that he could have brought any of those 11, to be honest. Vaporeon and Delmise were probably the two that I thought were least likely, just because my offensive mons overwhelm it, and then taunt from things like Mega Gardevoir and Hydreigon can also shut down Vaporeon from wishing. I just thought those two were very unlikely just because of how much my team pressures them into not really doing anything. Like Delmise, it could have spun, but overall has a very poor matchup versus my team, I thought. Like, other than maybe possibly a band set could have worked, but even then I have Scizor and Hydreigon to pivot around Roost off the damage versus, so I didn't really expect either of those. But let's just go into what he did bring to start off. So he brought the Kieran Black, which I was expecting, a very threatening mon. I kind of expected either a Z-move, possibly Life Orb, and then Roselli Berry. I kind of expected after I did a mock with Verd, and he had Roselli Berry to kind of lure in my my Gardevoir into dying, to possibly an Iron Head, which could be a possible item, but Life Orb or a Z move all three of those items just do work versus my team. Life Orb, you could run like HP Fire, Fusion Bolt, Dragon Claw, Ice Beam, something like that. I mean, possibly Roost. It's just a very threatening mon for me to deal with. So I knew that was one of the mons that I knew was 100% coming. I'm going to go over the second mon I knew was 100% coming, and that was Rotom Heat. It's just very nice versus my team as a pivot. It can Volt Switch around, it can Will-O-Wisp things. As I saw in both of my mocks, both Rotom Heats were carrying T-Wave, which is another thing I really expected because Hydreigon is my main switching, and that thing does not want to be Thunder Waved. It's a very nice pivot into Torn T, Scizor, and even like Mega Gardevoir because I do not carry Psychic or Psyshock. So the next Pokemon we're going to go over is a Selgor. This was a Pokemon I kind of thought wasn't going to come, but in the back of my mind I knew that my hazard removal is very subpar, and he can capitalize on that with possibly a Sash or Life Orb Spikes Selgor. And its coverage of Bug Buzz and Focus Blast hits my team decently hard, other than Nidoqueen. But it's a nice mon in this matchup. The next Pokemon that he brought was Necrozma. I kind of knew this was coming too because Terrakion, I can not totally deal with like a Swords Dance Z move one, but it can deal with at least a Scarf one. It can at least resist close combat, which is the rest of his team does not like to take. It could be a possible Stealth Rocker, and I kind of knew he was going to have some kind of HP Fire lure into his Scizor, or to my Scizor, because Scizor matches up very nice for his team. Obviously, he has to Rotom Heat, but that's not really a lure because we already know it's going to have Overheat. But I knew there was going to be some surprise HP fires on his team somewhere, and I thought Necrozma would be the best for that. So the next mon that he has is Bishop, a very threatening breaker to my team. If you just look throughout my whole team, not even the 6 that I brought, throughout my entire squad of 12, I do not have good resistances to its stab move. So I was kind of, because of that, a Life Orb Bishop could have been an option, as well as a Scarf Bishop, just because of how good its stabs are, and it can take a non-Scarf Terrakion or Torrentee off, or it can also take off it can catch my Mega Gardevoir off as well. And lastly, we have this Flygon. Now, I didn't really expect the Flygon either, but looking at his team, he has 3 mons weak to rocks, and Necrozma's going to get chipped down by rocks. So, if I had T-Spikes, Necrozma does not want to deal with T-Spikes. So, Defog Flygon could be a option. That's what I expected when I saw it. I expected either a Defog support set or a Defog Scarf set, is kind of what I was expecting. Because I knew, when I saw the team, I knew he was going to have a Scarfer, and Kieran Black could have been a Scarfer, but I was really expecting the Bishop with the Flygon to be the Scarf mon on this squad. So, now that we got that out of the way, I'm just going to go over really quick what the other 3 mons he didn't bring, which is Mega Diancie, Lucario, and Tornai. They all had decent matchups. Not really Mega Diancie, because I have Scizor and Nidoqueen, and even Slowbro. So I really didn't expect that. Lucario could have been okay with like a agility set, which I saw in a mock, or possibly a special set with or maybe a mixed set, but it didn't end up coming. And then lastly, Tornai did not come, which I was pretty surprised about, because my flying resist is pretty subpar. As you see, I did not bring one. So I was kind of expecting a Specs or a Z-move Tornai, but it did not come. So let's just go over my team. I think I've been rambling too much about his, but I'll try to go over mine as fast as I can. So we have the Scizor right here. Scizor is rocking Roost, U-turn, Bullet Punch, and Superpower. This thing it hits his team pretty hard. I decided to speed creep a 8-speed Necrozma, I think, is what I decided to speed creep. But in the back of my mind, I kind of knew that he was probably going to run more than 8 speed, but just in case, I decided to go with that much speed. I was still able to go with an Adamant Nature, and Bullet Punch and U-turn hits his team very hard, and Superpower allows me to hit Rotom Heat hard if it wanted to switch in, or even hit the Bishop and kill it if it wanted to switch in, unless it was like Focus Sash. And Bullet Punch, like I said, it's nice to pick off weakened Flygon, weakened Excelgor, but Berry, Kieran Black after rocks. I have a pretty good chance to kill that. And that's pretty much it for the Scizor. It was a Mega Diancie check, like I said, but I didn't really expect that to come. So next up we have a Scarf Terrakion with Toxic, Iron Head, Close Combat, and Stone Edge. Toxic and Iron Head were kind of filler move, not really filler, but Stone Edge and Close Combat hit his team so hard I didn't really need much else. I decided to throw on Iron Head because that can at least check Mega Diancie if it's not Rock Polish. And I have Toxic as well, just in case I predict the Necrozma to come in and I want to Toxic that thing. Or even Toxic the Rotom Heat if I somehow was able to catch that with my Terrakion, which sounds very unlikely, but if it could happen, that would be nice. Because Rotom Heat is one thing I definitely want to wear down early. So the next one I have is Slowbro. We're rocking an AV Slowbro for this is the second time we're bringing Slowbro, and both times we have been rocking an AV. But this time we are not rocking Max HP, Max Spadef. This time we are rocking Max HP with mixed EVs and Spadef, and defense with a plus defense nature. And we have Scald, Fire Blast, Ice Beam, and Foul Play. Foul Play is to hit the Kieran Black for a nice 3 KO, and it can break its subs. Scald just hits his team. It's Scald. It can burn things, which you guys will see how that works out later. Fire Blast can hit things like Bishop, and I could have ran Focus Blast too, but Fire Blast, or I guess Focus Blast would have made a little bit of sense, but Fire Blast also hits Thelmice harder. Next up we have, or actually, let me just explain the EVs a little bit more. The EVs were so I could take Diamond Storms and Moonblast from Mega Diancie. I could take both pretty well, because obviously Assault Vest does not help with the Diamond Storm, so in case you wanted to bring that, I mixed up my defenses a bit so I could take both with pretty easily. Next up I have Nidoqueen, which it's rocking the same speed as Scizor this week with max HP, rest into special attack with a modest nature. It is my rocker this week. I definitely want to prioritize getting up rocks. I can get those up versus Bisharp, possibly the Flygon, and even Excelgor, or definitely Excelgor. The Flygon, just because I have Sugar Berry, I can either set up my rock so I could lure it in with Ice Beam. Sugar Berry has helped this week for things like luring a Flygon, and it could also help with the Mega Diancie and the Lucario if they had Earth Power or Earthquake. So that's pretty much it for the Nidoqueen, pretty straightforward. It can block Volts, which is for the Rotom, or it can block T-Wave if I think it's going to go for T-Wave, predicting Hydreigon. So that's pretty nice. So let's just get into Hydreigon now. Hydreigon is a mon I did not have on at first, but after me and Gypsy were talking about it, it just puts in a lot of work in this matchup with Taunt, Roost, Flamethrower, and Dark Pulse. If you look at his team, he does not have a all his mons take neutral or super effective damage from Dark Pulse or Flamethrower, and Taunt helps me stop some of his walls like Necrozma and Vaporeon from either healing or setting up rocks or doing anything like that. And that's pretty much it for the Hydreigon. It's a pretty nice Pokemon to this break through his team with Dark Pulse and Flamethrower. So the next one that we have is Gardevoir. Now we have Mega Gardevoir here with Taunt, Toxic, Wish, and Hyper Voice. Now, last second after doing my mocks, I decided not to go with Protect, as I felt Toxic helped me a bit more to wear down the Rotom Heat, which if you look at his team, that's pretty much his best and only Hyper Voice switching. The Necrozma can kind of take it if it's very bulky, but I can also taunt it and prevent it from healing up. Wish still gives me some recovery. It's not totally reliable because I don't have Protect, but it's still recovery. And Hyper Voice, even though I have no special attack, still hits his team very hard. It still OHKOs the Kyurem if it's not Roselia Berry. It OHKOs Bisharp 80% of the time after a Life Orb hit, and 100% of the time after rocks in a Life Orb hit. And I'm speed creeping the Kyurem Black, and then I have max HP, the rest into defense. So I think I've been going on long enough about the teams. That's pretty much it for both. Let's just get into the battle. Let me just make sure that this is normal and the music is off. And let's get right into it. So he decides to lead off, or I decided to lead off with my Gardevoir. He decided to lead off with his Excelgor. I did this just because I kind of expected the Excelgor lead. And if he wanted to set up spikes, I could hit it with a Hyper Voice, and I could scout to see if it was max HP or if it was max special attack. And you guys are going to see right here, he does set up a spike, which is kind of annoying for my team because it hits 5 of them for neutral damage. But I do get off a Hyper Voice doing 79%. And judging by that calc, I kind of expected this to be Final Gambit. It wasn't max HP, I'm pretty sure from the calc, but it did have some HP. But either way, I did not want my Mega Gardevoir to take a Final Gambit right now. And if I did want anything to take it, it would be the Slowbro, because the things that Slowbro was here for, which is Mega Diancie and Torrent Eye, did not come. So Slowbro was probably my most expendable mon. As right here you guys are going to see, he does actually go into his Rotom Heat, trying to eat a Hyper Voice, as I do make a switch into Slowbro. Now, I could have switched out here into my Nidoqueen and possibly got my Stealth Rocks there. But even if he Volt Switch, I did not want to take it overheat the next turn. I decided to just throw off a Scald right here because I could take a Volt Switch very easily. And if he decides to go into his only resistance to Scald Kyurem B, I have a chance to burn that, which is very nice. Which would be very nice. So he does go for the Volt Switch as I do fire off a Scald, and you guys are going to see right here that I do get the burn, which do want to pause right here and talk about this. That was very unfortunate. That burn prevented the Kyurem B from putting in more work because of its burn. But it was a very risky switch in on his part. I think he should have went into something like Necrozma possibly. There was a chance that whole time that he could have gotten burned, and he did end up getting burned, which was unfortunate for the game. But that's what Skull does. I can't really say anything else about that. So right here, I'm just going to scout to see what his coverage is, and this will help me learn his set. And I did use 5 for foul play, doing 35. And judging by that damage on the Fusion Bolt, he is pretty invested into attack. I'm not sure if he was max attack. I don't think he was adamant either. But he was pretty attack invested. So right here, I wanted to save my Slowbird just in case. It could be sack fodder. It can still do work versus things like the Flygon if it's a more support set, or if I get enough Regenerator. And I do have Ice Beam in case it wanted to like set up on me for some reason. But right here, I either predicted a Fusion Bolt or another Roost. So I'm going to go right into my Mega Gardevoir. As right here, it's going to Roost. And right here, I thought about this turn for a little bit. Last week, I made a ballsy play with my Mega Gardevoir versus a Altaria going for Will-O-Wisp instead of killing it off with a Hyper Voice. But he ended up staying in, and that totally it kind of crippled my Mega Gardevoir for the rest of the game, and it did not do much after that. So right here, you guys would think I would learn from my mistakes. I would just click Hyper Voice. It's a pretty safe play. He's only switching this Rotom Heat. And if he decides to go into that, I can Toxic, Taunt, Wish. I can play off that accordingly. But no, I am a bad player. I decided to Toxic, and I even miss it. But that does not matter, of course, as he Iron Heads. So now, as soon as I see the no item, I see he stated in Iron Head. Now I know he's Roselia Berry. And I know that I just made a very big misplay with my Mega Gardevoir. It still could have done a lot of work this game, I think. It could still wear down the Rotom with Toxic. It could still Hyper Voice things. Possibly the Flygon, if it was a bulky set, he'd have to like either sack something or go Rotom and get Toxic. But I am actually going to sack my Mega Gardevoir here, as he does reveal the Roselia Berry. And it's going to do 48. But it's not going to matter because he's just going to kill me off with Iron Head. So that is the second straight week I just played my Mega Gardevoir very badly. It's definitely something that I'm going to try to fix in the future. Like, there was no reason not to Hyper Voice there. That was the one turn I think I made. That was the only turn in the game I think I actually played badly. Hyper Voice was just, there was no drawback there. I should have Hyper Voice. There's no explanation for not Hyper Voicing there. But we do learn from our mistakes, and I'm definitely going to not try to predict as much of my Gardevoir, as it's just so strong with Hyper Voice. You don't have to predict really, and there was no drawback from not clicking Hyper Voice. So my Mega Gardevoir drops. We're down 6-5 early, and I'm not feeling so good to start off. But we can go into this Hydreigon right here. Fire for Dark Pulse. His only resistance is Bishop, which is hit by Flamethrower. And right here he goes into his Rotom Heat, as I'm just going to Fire for Dark Pulse, doing 50%. So right here I knew that he sees the Life Orb. I could possibly have Draco. So I think he's going to go into his Bisharp to possibly see the damage. But I'm pretty sure I just Fire for Taunt right here in case he wanted a Thunder Wave. But in the back of my mind, I just knew the Bisharp was coming in because he did not want to lose his Rotom Heat right now, as Scizor is looking to be a pretty nice threat versus his team. So I knew he wanted to keep that. So Flamethrower would have been a very nice prediction, but it would have been too risky, I think, as well, in case he did want a Thunder Wave. So I do just Fire for Taunt here, as he hards into his Bisharp. So now I do some calcs. If he's Scarf, he can't kill me with either Iron Head or Brick Break or X Scissor. If he X Scissors or Brick Breaks, he'll leave me at 25-ish% according to calcs. So I decided just to stay in and get rid of this thing if he's Scarf, or if he's not Scarf, I can also get rid of it unless he's Aquaberry or Assault Vest. So right here, you guys are going to see his Scarf X Scissor, As luckily right there, he doesn't crit me. If he crit me right there and I lost my Dragon, I 100% lost the game. Well, he does not, and we do live, and after the life orb, we're going to go down to 12%. But we do kill off the bishop, so at least make it 5-5. And even though my Dragon is on low health, it can still roost up on things like the Cure in Black if it doesn't have Ice Beam. So far, it's Field Roost, Iron Head, and Fusion Bolt. It can roost up on things like the Rotom Heat. Unless it Thunder Waves me, that would be unfortunate. And it can also roost up on things like the Necrozma, unless it has like physical coverage. And sorry about that lag right there. I don't know what just happened, but he does go back into his Selgor, which I kind of predicted to either Spike or Bug Buzz. Either way, I make the safe play into my Nidoqueen, as I can get up my rocks right here. As he does, let's go for a Spike. Or no, he does go for the Bug Buzz, which was the safe play to kill my Dragon. Now he goes for a Spike, as I get my rocks. And now I was really thinking that he was defog Flygon, because, looking at this, he does have 2 spikes up, which is very nice versus my team. But I think at this point he has to try to defog these hazards away. Because right now, Cure in Black dies to rocks, Rotom would be left at 31% after rocks, and the Selgor dies to rocks. So rocks, he does not want those up right now. I'm just going to stay in and try to kill this thing with Sludge Wave as he reveals the Encore. So very good prep on his part. Right here, I'm just going to go into my I'm just going to go into my Scizor, predicting a possibly a HP Ground or a double into his Flygon, possibly, or not a double into his Flygon, possibly a double into his Necrozma, but he just go for the Focus Blast, which it wouldn't have 2-KO me. I could have roosted off that damage, but you guys are going to see that miss didn't really end up mattering anyway, because right here, he is going to he's going to sack his Cure in Black, so he doesn't get to see my set, I don't get to do any damage, and right here goes into his Necrozma. So this is the most obvious HP fire in the world. I had 2 options, or actually I really only had 1 option, because, or I guess I had 2, I could have went into Slowbro and possibly Scalded, but that would have left the opportunity for him to start Calm Minding up. So right here, I'm actually going to U-turn. In the back of my mind, I thought he was going to possibly, he could have like Iron Defense, he could have Calm Minded. If I Bullet Punched, I would have got some chip damage off, which I should have definitely Bullet Punched here, but I did not. And he is an offensive Necrozma, as you guys are going to see. He does not have much bulk. So if we did Bullet Punch, that would have been huge, but we did not. And excuse me, we're just going to die to an HP fire right here, as we're now tied at 4. As I'm just going to bring in my Dragon. I did some calcs. I was assuming that he wasn't a mixed attacker. I didn't know much about his set, but I didn't think he was going to be mixed with like X-Scissor. And looking at special coverage, it can't really touch me. So I'm just going to fire for a really safe Roost, as I expected either a Flygon switch in or a Selgor sack. But he does make the Flygon switch, and right here I was kind of expecting an Outrage, but right here I definitely do not want to sack my Dragon. You guys are going to see he actually goes for the Earthquake, which is pretty unfortunate. He did Earthquake my Dragon, which is a very good play, but we do eat that because of the Sugar Berry, so now we can either Ice Beam, or that's pretty much our only play. Like if we set up our rocks as he defogged, it wouldn't really be benefiting us. So I just fire for safe Ice Beam, as he just kills us off. So right here we're gonna go into our Slowbro, as we're gonna fire for an Ice Beam, as he does show off the defog, which I definitely expected. Defog, he needed to get that off to make the Selgor live and keep the Rotom Heat healthier. So we're just going to fire for an Ice Beam, as it almost kills the Flygon, which it isn't really unfortunate. It's in range of my other attackers, and I don't think he's max speed. So I think Dragon can pick him off, but I'm not too sure about that still. So right here I'm just going to fire for Scald, in case he wants to go into the Rotom Heat, maybe on Ice Beam. But he does the show the U-turn here, which we do eat because of our bulk and defense and HP. So we just fire for Scald. We get a crit, which I think he was going to recover either way, so I'm not sure how much that crit mattered. But he does this Moonlight here. As I actually predicted, I was scouting for some kind of coverage move for Hydreigon. But as you guys can see, that didn't really work out. Right here, I think I just go hard into my Hydreigon now. As now he goes to the Psyshock. So I'm just gonna fire for Dark Pulse as he has to pick a Sack, which is his Flygon. So that's my second kill for Hydreigon this game. Hydreigon is now 5-0 on the season in terms of kills and deaths, which is very nice. Very happy with how it's doing this season. So he's gonna choose to go into his Selgor, and kind of scouting for the Focus Blast and thinking I could also live a Bug Buzz. I go into my Slowbro, not wanting to take a Focus Blast right now. With my Terrakion, as I could live, but I wanted to keep it as healthy as possible so I could always live. As right here, you guys are going to see he just goes for the Bug Buzz and he takes out my Slowbro. So I'm now in an unfortunate position as I have to go into my Terrakion, and I kind of have to Stone Edge. If I could double into my Dragon, which would kind of force him to either take the damage with his Necrozma or sack another Pokemon. But I end up just staying in and Stone Edging, as you guys are going to see. He revealing that damage revealed that he has very little bulk investment. He has some bulk, but not a lot. Like the roll, I'm pretty sure in the Stone Edge was like 43 to 51 according to my calcs. I'm not sure on his exact spread, but I just knew he had a little bit of HP or a little bit of defense, but not much bulk. So I kind of wanted to see if this, like, what kind of roll this was by going for another Stone Edge. As right here, you guys are gonna see I'm gonna get a lower roll. But you guys are gonna see later that there was a possibility for me to get a higher roll and kill with that Stone Edge right there. So he's just gonna Moonlight. So I just go hard into my Dragon, predicting another Moonlight, as he wants to keep this thing as healthy as possible. So now I get to fire off a free Dark Pulse and get a kill as he sacks off his Rotom Heat, which was the expected play. As I'm just going to fire off another Dark Pulse here. Sorry about pausing that. And now we're down to 2-2, and this is where the 50-50s come in right now. Right here, he could either go for a Bug Buzz or he could click Focus Blast. He already revealed both. Focus Blast could miss, but it could also catch my Terrakion for a lot of damage. Bug Buzz kills this, and it also chips down Terrakion, putting in range of a Focus Blast for another time. So right here, these last turns, they're just basically all 50-50s. He could double into his Necrozma, he could Bug Buzz, he could Focus Blast. He has a lot of options here, as do I. I could stay in a Dark Pulse, or I could switch on Terrakion, so I guess I only have two, but I'm just going to switch on to my Terrakion this time, as he actually does miss the Focus Blast here. Now, this Focus Blast miss, it was unfortunate, definitely. When he missed that Focus Blast, I kind of knew, like, in the back of my mind, I kind of knew, like, I think I win here. Because missing that Focus Blast eliminated any 50-50s on my end. Like, you guys are going to see right here, I am able to stay in Stone Edge, as he does go into his Necrozma. And actually I get a nice roll right there and do 50%. But now I'm in another spot where I can either Stone Edge again or I could Dark Pulse. Now if that Focus Blast landed and I was at around 16% right now, and he switched in this, then this would have been a huge 50-50 if I Stone Edge again, or if I keep Stone Edging, or should I double into a Dragon, ensuring me the game by doing enough damage to this to where Terrakion can clean up the game. You guys are going to see right here, he actually does double out. I'm pretty sure he does, into his Selgor, predicting my Dragon. He does. And I was so badly considering Stone Edge there, but I did not end up clicking it. So now I can, because I missed the Focus Blast, playing safe and not having to risk a 50-50 doesn't end up mattering, because I can just go hard into my Dragon or into my Terrakion, and if he can't kill me unless he crits me or he's Z-move Focus Blast, which he actually can't be because it's not one of his Z-Mons. But you guys are going to see that does not kill me. If he bug buzzed, then if he bug buzzed my tracker on the first time instead of focus blasting, these 50-50s would have been really intense going down the way into the game. As I might have stayed in Stone Edge to Cosma instead of doubling into my Dragon that 2 turns ago. But I don't know. Right, like, this is obviously a post commentary, so I'm not really sure what I would have done in the heat of the battle. But right here, I calc it. And based on that Stone Edge damage, 2 close combats do kill a Necrozma. And if he does sack this and then go to Necrozma, I'm just going to go hard into my Dragon and just Dark Pulse away. But he does actually just go hard into his Necrozma, ensuring me a 2-0 victory, because you guys are going to see that just 29%. And he's not Scarf a Sogor or Scarf this, which will not speed anyway. So that's going to be the game, guys. We do pick up a nice 2-0 victory. I'm just going to let this finish out, as we do close combat this Sogor, and we win the game. Now, obviously, I talked to Aster after the game. The burn on Kieran Black and the miss of the Focus Blast were definitely unfortunate, but he also told me that going for Bug Buzz was probably his safest play, as that probably gave him the best chance to win the game, even though 50-50s were still going to be a lot, or those were still going to be a thing. It would have given him a good chance to win the game, but throughout the whole end game, I knew that I had a good shot of winning. I'm very confident in my ability to win 50-50s, and I think that even though I did lose that last one with the Hydreigon in the Sogor double, I think if my Hydreigon had taken the Focus Blast, I would have thought about that and played that a bit differently. As would he, I would also think, but it was a very close match to Aster. Definitely want to rematch him in the playoffs, hopefully, or hopefully we both get there. We're both in a good position for playoffs right now. But now your Gotham City Golurks are now 3-0, plus 10 differential, and we are going into week 4, riding a nice win streak, and we're going to be playing the FC Poplio and Magic. So he's another good battler. Definitely go check out his channel as well. But I think that's going to be it for me, guys. Definitely hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.